Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I want to talk about the new Hulu release here on 2022 as of last night called Matriarch. I'm already seeing reviews tearing this movie apart. It's more of an art house movie anyway. Think of like an A24 or a Lighthouse or Witch or Vavitch, whatever you want to call it. I didn't know this was going to be such an art house movie, so I was so excited when I got into it, and it was all weird, but it was also atmospheric, and it really just developed into something I really liked a lot. Matriarch is directed and written by a fellow named Ben Steiner, and I don't know anything this guy's ever done. I looked into his IMDb history. He's never done really much of anything that anybody would know, I think. But I'm gonna tell you up front, between the writing and the directing, this man was very, very talented. In Matriarch, we follow a young lady who hasn't talked to her mom in about 20 years, nor her dad, and she ends up taking a trip back to her homeland after she starts to have some issues with addiction and a couple of other mental things. A lot of her addiction, a lot of her illnesses come from a place of loneliness. She kind of has a mental breakdown after she gets a call from her mom and has an overdose that night. She has a weird vision of a hand coming out of a black, swampy pond-looking thing to possibly reach out to her. She feels like this is a sign she should go home and see her mom again and spend time with her. Like I said, they had a massive falling out years ago, so they're really not in touch. They haven't talked for like 20 years, and she kind of hides from her mom. You guys know the works. She moved kind of far away to get away from her mom, so on and so on. After her overdose, though, she happens to have these weird moments where she has black goo coming out of her nose when she has nosebleeds. They're kind of recurring throughout the film, and she's not really sure what's up with that. That's really all I want to tell you about this movie's plot, because I really want you to go into it not really expecting much of anything aside from an art house experience. It's a very surreal film, it's a very fun film in my opinion, a very tense movie, a very atmospheric movie due to the fantastic directing from Ben Steiner. If you're looking for really scary imagery, this movie has that for you. Some of the things I saw in here I will never forget. I only have a couple of problems with the film itself. I think that one of the biggest things here is the fact that the characters themselves are awful people. Mainly our lead girl. She's such a selfish, ungrateful person. I can't really stand people like that, so she's hard to pay attention to most of the time. But that character is written that way. Jemima Rooper, who played her, is fantastic in this movie. Even in her snark, she's kind of in a paranoia, and she also has these moments of humor that really work with the film, and I love it. There are some really dark jokes in here that she makes that I actually laughed out loud about. It probably says a lot about me. All of the acting in the film was very good. All of the writing in the film was very good. And getting back to the directing, the shots and the cinematography themselves are absolutely beautiful. For the film to be as short as it is at an hour and 20 minutes or so, that directing really helps build into a fantastic, really fun to watch creepy movie. And that atmosphere, man, it lingers like a ghost. The only other real thing I have to complain about is the fact that we have a little bit of CGI in the film towards the end of the movie, and that really is rough stuff, man. For all of the other things in this film to be as good as they are, that really kind of taints this film. But it's still really fun to watch. I had a great time. Even though it's not a perfect movie by any means, you know what's really good? The music, bruh. That eeriness, pulsing feel to it is just really haunting and really adds a lot to this movie as well. Any filmmaker out there who understands how important music is for a movie will really appreciate this film. I'm really hoping everybody involved with Matriarch gets more work in the future because everybody really put in 100% on this movie. It shows and it really feels like it, and I think a lot of people are really not appreciating this movie the way it deserves. For me, it was kind of a big surprise. I didn't know I was going into this with a big art house experience ahead of me. If I had to rate Matriarch on a 5-star basis, I would easily, hands down, give this a 4 out of 5 stars. What an experience, man. Last week I reviewed Grimcutty. That came from Hulu. If you saw Grimcutty, you can probably imagine what my experience was going from that to this, with Hulu being the one who provided both of them. It was a big change, and it was a good change. Props to you, Hulu. Anyway, guys, have you seen Matriarch? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Put all your thoughts and comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this awesome little flick. If you happen to be the kind of person who enjoyed the things I mentioned previously, I think you'll really like this movie. It has a lot to offer, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you all. Happy Halloween, and goodbye.